I don't know who needs to hear this message today, or if you know someone who needs to hear it, definitely make sure you send it to them. But hard times are going to happen. Hard times are supposed to happen. Nobody successful has ever gotten to where they've gotten to unless they've taken those hard times. They've taken the time to actually sit and say, okay, this is going on right now. This isn't the best situation. Everything's hit me in every different angle. But what am I supposed to learn in this season? What is this hardship supposed to teach me? And it's crazy because the more I think about it and the more, I just talk to God and read and so many other things, the more that I take the time to dig deep, and it's like you learn that a lot of times God uses you, You hear that all the time. You hear that all the time, let your body, let your mind, let your words become a sacrifice to God. Let Him use you. Sometimes when God uses you, He's not using you for you, but sometimes He's using you for the person next to you. It's countless amount of times where I've been through a situation, I've seen someone go through a situation, and I've gone through it, and don't get me wrong, yes, it was still, in a sense, it was still beneficial to me. I still benefited in the long run. But I've seen the strength that God has given me during my hard season. I've seen that strength be able to push the person next to me. How many times have you ever heard somebody say, the way that you handle that really influenced me to do the same? The way that you did this really influenced me to do the same. How many times have you seen someone receive a gift from God? Just look at TikTok itself. Look at TikTok itself. There's so many content creators who use this platform to not only benefit themselves, but to benefit the people that are watching them. Look at it from that instance, How many times have you seen somebody do the miraculous weight loss, and they put the hard work in, and they filmed it, they had their TikTok watchers follow along, and watching them do that inspires somebody else to want to move the same way. Sometimes God puts certain hardships in front of you. He gives you certain revelations. He allows you to move in certain ways because the person next to you needs it, because somebody else out there needs it too. And by going through that, it gives you so much more strength. Let me ask you something. How good does it feel to know that I just pulled myself out of one of the hardest situations, right? Or even if it's not something hard, how good of a feeling is it to know that a person tells you, hey, you did a really good job handling that. It definitely pushed me to want to do the same. That's a good, it makes you want to keep going. It then helps hold you accountable. Because it's like, dang, I really got people out here watching me. God plants certain footsteps and certain paths for you to take for certain reasons, And I say that part to say, talk to God. It might not seem easy right now. What you're going through might not seem like it's okay. It might not seem like everything's working. You might feel like, okay, I got this going on, this going on. Damn, next day I wake up, I got this going on, this going on. But it's like, how many times have you asked God for something and He's given it to you, but you didn't handle it accordingly? You didn't follow the footsteps He had set aside for you. How many times have you randomly, you got some money now? When you was talking to God, you said you was going to use the money for this, this, and that. And you was going to put this as a priority. You were going to change this, and you were going to change the way you spend that. And then you get that money, you get that blessing, and you do the complete opposite. And then it's like, on the contrary, you do the complete opposite, right? The outcome that you wanted to happen doesn't happen. And now you're right back in a bigger hardship. And it's just like, now you're asking God, why me? Why am I going through this, right? God's going to keep giving you the same lesson until you accept it and say, okay, God, I hear you. I understand what you're saying, and I understand what I need to do and where I need to. I'm going to follow your footsteps. The best way to analyze this is, and I hope this makes it easy for everyone to understand. Let's say, for example, you're going out of town, right? I live in Virginia. Let's say I'm going to Georgia, right? My first time going, never been before. I'm not just going to get in my car and say, okay, this is the way I'm going. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to make this turn. I'm going to make that turn. No. When you have a place to go and you don't know where you're headed, when you've set a goal that you've never been to before, when you have a destination that you've never been to before, you got to turn the GPS on. And when it comes to life, our GPS is God. You got to ask him, God, where am I going? All right, God, I told you I was going to do this. I made it here. Okay, what's next? Where are we going now? Where are you taking me now? Because once you get into that driver's seat and you put it on autopilot and you follow God's path, you're going to get a completely different outcome versus you trying to navigate and go your own way. The same way with a GPS. It's the same way with a GPS, right? Let's say, for example, I'm driving to Georgia. I've never been there before. Okay, cool. I got to turn my GPS on. I don't know how to get to my destination. This is something new for me, The goal that I'm trying to achieve is something new to me. I've never lost 100 pounds. This is something new to me. I don't know how to get there. All right, cool. So my GPS is on. I'm following the GPS each way. Now, let's say, for example, the GPS tells me to turn left. I go right. I'm doing my own thing. I go right. What's the GPS going to try to do? It's going to keep redirecting you. It's going to keep redirecting you. It's going to keep redirecting you. It's the same thing in life. Same thing with God. Once you come off that path, God is going to keep trying to put you back on that path. He's going to keep giving you the same lesson over and over. He's going to keep redirecting you until you finally say, okay, God, I understand this. I can't go my own way. I can't do what I want to do, how I want to do it. I understand now that you've already got a plan in motion. You already see things coming ahead of me that I don't need to go through. So I'm going to listen to you. You've already got this pre-planned motion set for my life. And I'm going to put it on autopilot, God. I'm going to let you take over. I'm going to follow in your footsteps. I'm going to say what you want me to say, when you want me to say, how you want me to say it. I'm going to do what you need me to do, for who, for how, for what, and for why. And I'm not going to ask any questions, God, because I trust you. I'm not going to have any fears. I'm not going to have any anxiety because I trust you. When you turn that GPS on, you don't have a fear that you're not going to get to your destination, right? So why, when you talk to God, why is it that when you talk to God and you ask him to take you somewhere, you ask him to show him what it is you're supposed to be doing, why do you have fear? Why do you have doubt? God know the plan. He know where you're going, and he know how you're going to get there. Thank y'all for joining my TED Talk, and y'all have a great day.